Hi, I'm Rene Oswald with the Transitioning to Living Cuisine program, and today we're going to be making Italian wraps from the book, and that's on page 123 if you want to follow along with me in your book. And the neat thing about Italian wraps is they're very versatile. You can use them for all kinds of different things. You can use them like a pizza crust, you can use them as a bread. It's a great bread substitution in the raw food world. So I love these wraps, and you can make them a few different ways. I'm going to start off with my red pepper, and we're just going to put this in the Vitamix. And the neat thing about using the Vitamix for this recipe is that you can have the chunkiness of the red pepper, and I'm going to show you how to do that without totally pulverizing it. Just take your red pepper and cut it into about 1.5 inch pieces. Put it in your Vitamix blender container. And you use about a small onion or a piece of a large onion. This is a huge onion. When you're choosing your onion, use the flattest onion, and that'll be the sweetest onion. I'd put about that much in, or use a small onion. And if you don't have sweet onions, just put about a teaspoon of onion granules in this recipe, and that works great. Because if you use too strong of an onion, it overtakes the flavor of the food. And then you put 1/2 cup of water. This is the important part. Because when you blend this at a low speed for just a few seconds, it just chops it. I'll show you how to do that. Just leave it at low speed. Turn your blender on, variable speed, and just for a few seconds, chop it up to about medium speed. And if it gets stuck like that, just put your tamper in. That's it. And notice now it's not completely pulverized. You still have chunks of red pepper. And then what you do is just pour this into a strainer and strain off the water. You'll be using that water. Okay. Don't have to clean anything. Just let that pepper, see the peppers? Just let that strain off. And then you add 4 carrots to your blender. Just same thing, cut those into about 1.5 inch pieces. So you're putting lots of veggies in these wraps. Instead of being a lot of fat, we're a lot of veggies, which is a lot more nutrient dense. And then about 1/4 cup of sun-dried tomatoes. Those in there. Drain those off. You soaked them for about 30 minutes. 2 cloves of garlic. Those in. A cup of sunflower seeds. And these sunflower seeds are from the Staple Stash. So they're ready to go if you want to make this recipe. And I talk about the Staple Stash in another video. And 1/2 cup of buckwheat groats that have been soaked and sprouted and dehydrated from the Staple Stash. 2 tablespoons of tomato powder. If you don't have tomato powder in your area, in your grocery store, just look on my website, and I have a link on the website for tomato powder. Tomato powder is wonderful. Adds a nice robust flavor to the recipe. And about 1/8 of a teaspoon, a 1/16 to 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, depending on how strong your cayenne pepper is. And that's it. And then you pour that reserved water that you have from the red pepper and onions. Just pour that into your blender. That's full of nutrients too. You don't want to waste any of those great nutrients. And then you blend this well, and all the way up to high. Start on low and go all the way up to high. Just blend it till it's smooth. Takes about 30 to 45 seconds. And that part's finished. And then you just transfer this mixture to a large bowl. This is a thicker batter because you don't want, if it's thinner, it's going to take longer to dehydrate. So it can be a little thinner than this if you add a little more water, but it will take longer to dehydrate. Okay. And then you add those red pepper and onions to this mixture. Stir that in. And you'll also add 1 cup of ground flaxseed to this, and about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of Celtic sea salt. If you want to, you can always add the sea salt last, just sprinkle a little on, and then you won't have to use as much. About 2 teaspoons of basil, dried basil, and 2 teaspoons of oregano. It gives it that Italian flavor. And 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. You want to stir that flaxseed in well so it doesn't clump up anywhere. Well combined. And then you take your Teflex sheets on your dehydrator trays. Make sure you have the Teflex sheet on there. If you don't have Teflex sheets, you can always use parchment paper. Put about a cup of this batter. See, this makes 4 large wraps. So you put about a cup of batter on each tray. There's about 4 cups here. And then you take another Teflex sheet and put it on top. And then when you roll it out, it won't stick to your rolling pin. Just roll that out, and you can make this any shape that you want. You can make it square, round, rectangle, whatever you want. That's it. Put this in your dehydrator for about 2 hours, and then you'll flip it over just like you flipped over the crackers. If you watch the cracker recipe, just flip it over and peel off the Teflex sheet. Dehydrate it for about another 3 hours, and it's a wrap. Ready to eat. And these are great when they're dry. They're still pliable after 5 hours. They're not like crackers. They're like a tortilla. So you can spread your cheese sauce or your marinara sauce on top, or both, and sprinkle any chopped veggies you like, zucchini, onions, red peppers. That's it. And there's tons more recipes in the book. There's 350 recipes in this book. Sorry, there's over 350 recipes in our book, and lots are dehydrated recipes, just like this. So you can find all those in level 4 and enjoy the journey. There's lots more videos on my website, and you can sign up for the blog on the website to get lots of the newest information on raw food and what's happening. And have a wonderful day.